The Beach FM Business Lunch Show, brought to you by PlaceMakers Kapiti Horowhenua. Together we're building New Zealand.
Welcome back to the Business Lunch Show on Beach FM 106.3, and it is great honour of mine to welcome into the show our next guest. You would have driven past them, you would have stopped by, you would have seen him many a times, and my first live interview on the Business Show, it is a great friend of mine from Dose Coffee on Kapiti Road. It's Jake Moeke.
Bro, how are you?
I'm good. Mate, we go a long way back. You are a local business owner. You've been in the game just as much as I've been on the coast doing my radio. It's kind of worked out perfectly well. So, mate, let's hear the story. How did Dose Coffee come to be?
Yeah, like I said, man, I haven't been around for very long up those ways. I took over the trailer at the start of October, so last year, so just over 6 months. Yeah, earned my stripes down at Coffee Horowhenua in Paekakariki there. Was there for a couple of years. Got some good experience and some really valuable lessons from there. And then an opportunity popped up. It was time for me to go on my own, so took a crack and brought the trailer up in Pram and been doing it for the last 6 months, yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, I need to know the backstory, and yeah, I kind of do already, but, hospitality is in your game. I mean, like, yes, I've thrown out the petrol station because, you worked at Coffee Horowhenua, you worked at BP Paekakariki for many years with your very good friend there, Matty J. But your business background, mate, you did, what, business at university? Like, the background isn't hospitality.
Yeah, no, that's right. So, like you just said, bro, yeah, worked at the service station. The Johnsons, they live just up the road from us in Pukerua Bay there. So, Matty J, rolled pooks with him. You would have heard him a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, and so getting involved into the coffee business was about 8 years ago. I was moving to Australia after, like you said, finishing uni, did a couple of years working for a company in town, doing some operational leadership there, and then decided to pack our bags and move to Melbourne, basically. But before I did that, I had a good friend, like he said to me, if you want to start a simple business, coffee is a good game to get into. It's easy to start, and it's a process that can be taught to anyone or can be learnt, which is cool. And so I always had that in the back of my mind, and so, we went to Melbourne. We lived there for, I think, 6.5 years. And then, by the time we came back, we were in a position where I was looking to do something outside of work. So I had worked in offices and leading people and all that kind of cool stuff, which is good because it gave me some transferable skills to be able to switch into, I guess you could say, like a self-employed person. Yeah, and so then we came back from Melbourne. There was an opportunity, like I said earlier, to start on the machines down at Coffee Horowhenua. Loved it,
which led you to buying the coffee cart on Kapiti Road there. What were those early learnings? Like, you've done business, you've run teams, you've worked at the shop front dealing with the people face to face, but now you're a business owner. You've taken over a small business where you've gone from managing X amount of people to just little old Jake in the coffee cart. What were those early learnings as a business owner?
So the first one was reflecting back on my career and kind of figuring out the skills that I had learnt leading people and building processes and doing operational and customer service type roles into a kind of a retail space, which I guess the coffee trailer is. And so the keys of that was knowing how to build a process and also recognising where there could be efficiency gains in that process. And making a coffee is a process. You watch the people behind the machine, watch the baristas there, and they load up the baskets and they dose it up and they do their thing. And so, like, watching that was what got me into the coffee as opposed to drinking coffee. Yeah, which is interesting.
But we had, of course, you do stock Kapiti roast. We had Corbin on the show first week of the business show. I have watched you two passionately be about your craft. Where did it flick for you that you're not just churning out coffee here, you are a point of difference, you are Dose Coffee, you are something different from the next guy? Yeah,
so having the roastery just up in Te Horo at Kapiti Coffee Roasters up there, and Corbin and the crew, they do a stellar job up there. And, they are the epitome of a local business, just like me. We use local suppliers, they've got people that work for them up here. They supply other people around the coast. These are good people to be involved with because it means that the supply chain and also the communication chain is really small. So it means that if I do need to just reach out, I can talk to Corbin. And he is very passionate about what he does. And what he does, he's really skilled at, which makes it easier for me because I have confidence in the product that I'm making, knowing that the background of my product is coming from such a good place. Feeding off Corbin's passion that's what kind of clicked me into thinking, actually, there's more to this than just pumping out cups. It's about understanding there's a craftsman at this end, there needs to be a craftsman at the other end that can deliver a product that stands up to the standards that he's running at his end. And so that's something that has been a steep learning curve for me, because I had to adjust how I was doing my mechanical process in terms of making the coffees to better suit how the coffee that he was roasting was being delivered to the customers. So that was cool. And it is good that he is just up the road, and I can ring him up and get on Zoom and we do all that sort of stuff just to have a chat.
So a lot of people have said over the last few weeks that initial startup is who you've got around you. That classic Kiwi takes a village. So more good mentors, etc. around you. I know because your background. I know because your father even. You do have many good people around you. Was Corbin one of those catalysts to help, and were the others?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, having the support of the supplier and the confidence from him, knowing that I could comfortably shut my trailer down. I am very fortunate. My business is really simple. I'm just a solo baller in there. So in order, when we got told it was time for level 4, I literally had to lock the trailer down and walk away. And that was good because I still could instill confidence in Corbin that I was going to be able to support him once we opened again. And it was the same for all of the people that I deal with, and the support has been amazing. And actually, like you said, it takes a group to build a village, and Kapiti is really cool because it's quite a little isolated community up there, right up on the edge of the sunset. And so in terms of the Wellington region, and so it is cool. And that's what this kind of, I started operating halfway through level 3, and it was cool seeing that people were moving more within their region, but understanding that their impact in the region is quite great.
Yeah.
And so that's cool. So they're looking more locally for the stuff that they need.
Yeah.
And then now that we're in level 2 and that people are getting more opportunity to move about, I think that's really cool. And it's also amazing to see all the kind of positive behaviours, I guess you could say, or the good behaviours. People are taking care of their social distancing. You're not seeing people rushing into shops, or I haven't encountered any of that behaviour, and I think that's really cool as well.
Yeah, very much so. Hey mate, let's talk points of difference now. Let's talk not your just average coffee cart. Like you're changing the game. You guys are thinking differently. You guys are creating differently. What you get isn't exactly what you do get just down the road. It's not just press a button, walk away. It's ready. You do take the time. You've got your seconds down on lockdown, and you're also testing other stuff. So can you tell us about that stuff?
Yeah, like I said at the start, so being able to recognise how a process works and then how to make those efficiency gains, that really enables you to kind of speed up your process on the other end. So making the coffees in a timely manner is really one thing, because that's what people want to know. They want to know they can go somewhere and get a good coffee, but get it in a timely manner. And no one likes waiting, no one likes to wait around. Yeah. The other thing that we do in terms of point of difference, so for me, it's about understanding where that value is in the cup. So, you come in, you get your $5 coffee, and away you go, and your day has started. And so if you kind of understand that, someone goes out and earns that in 15 minutes of their work, I've got to try and inject 15 minutes of their labour into that $5 cup. Yeah. And so I think about that stuff while I'm making the coffees, so that every single one is not perfect, because you can never get perfect, but as close to as good as you can get. Yeah. And I think that's the point of difference. It's about caring about not just the monetary transaction, but also the interaction, as well as the expression that you make when you make the coffee. Because I kind of see it like art. I can't draw to save myself, but I go right on the tools, So COVID-19 has tested our patience everywhere, but a lot of people have been creating, thinking outside the square. What can we do differently? How can we produce a different product from the next person? What has COVID done for your business? How have you changed operation? What have you been tinkering with? Yeah, that's definitely right. So people have been forced into a situation where they have restricted movement. They have to look within their bubble to try and find the solutions to the things they have, and coffee was a big one. There was a lot of traffic that was going through social media about how many people were missing their coffees and all that sort of stuff. And so people are now looking to explore outside of just your standard instant coffee. And so we have been exploring a product that Corbin makes up at up at the roastery there. It's a liquid extract. Yep. And some of the feedback we've been getting on that is really positive. And what's interesting is that it uses a different type of process to bring out different flavour profiles in the same coffee or similar coffee to what we use in our espresso.
Awesome.
And what's cool is it gives the control back to the consumer. So you buy the bottle of liquids, you control how much coffee you make. You can make the coffee to suit your tastes as opposed to being forced to drink a coffee that a barista has made for you.
Wow.
Which is pretty cool. But there's always a place for espresso.
Yeah.
Yep. Some people like that.
Yeah.
Aggressive coffee. Yeah. Yeah, but the coffee liquids maybe something that could offer a solution down the track.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, very. Well, I know I took a bit more pride in making my coffees at home over the last few weeks with my Kapiti roast bag that I treasured very much from you. Hey, mate, let's talk about the cup. Let's talk about hygiene. Let's talk about level 2. Let's talk about all those restrictions in place. How have you had to change, a simple car in a car park? What have you had to do differently?
Yeah, so we had to change up the environment quite a bit in the car park there, and so it resulted in the trailer being turned sideways. So now I run perpendicular to Kapiti Road as opposed to facing out towards it, and that was basically done to increase the square meterage that I had for people, so they could enable them to do their social distancing while they're waiting for their coffee. I mean, level 3 was quite restrictive. We had to do text ordering only, which was kind of hard because you're so used to turning up to the coffee cart and having to chat to the man behind the tools. But so some people. All people took to that really well. They understood. They've kind of been at home for a few weeks. They've heard all the terms like contact tracing and social distancing, and they understand how that works in the real world. And so that was really cool because I didn't have to worry about that so much. Not that I didn't worry, but it gave me something less. It made my load less when I was trying to concentrate on making coffees as well as adapt to a purely text-based ordering system. And then level 2, we had a screen made, so the guys from Sign Foundry out in Lower Hutt there, they came out and they were really good to deal with. They had the technicians on site at 20 to 7 in the morning, getting it ready so that I could open and trade on that day. So that was on the Thursday for level 3, was the last Thursday. And that was really cool. And then the guys from Craig and Liam and the team at CNC Plumbing, they came in and they replumbed the trailer back up. Yeah. And that was cool, man. So I found all that information on a local Facebook page that was started called the Kapiti Traders Hub. And that was something that was started during level 4 so that people who needed access to essential work.
Awesome.
But then as the levels were getting restricted and people were getting geared back up to go back to work, it was quite a good little avenue to be able to search locally and find people who could service what I needed to get the trailer open.
Brilliant.
Yeah, in terms of the hygiene, a lot of sterilisation, a lot more than I would usually.
You were pretty clean before.
Yeah, and now that it's got full bubble, it's much cleaner.
Yeah.
Because it keeps the external environment outside of the trailer and it ensures that my workspace is clean and that the coffees are clean.
Awesome. I gotta ask, it is a trailer. What's next? Where are we going? What are you doing?
What's next? Well, what's next, I think, is I really just focus on the next 3 months. In an environment like it is now, like post-COVID, I guess you could call it, something like that. It's about maintaining that agility so that if there is a need to change fast or if the environment around me changes quickly, I can respond quickly. And then try and figure out. I mean, I'm hoping to get to the point where I can start employing someone else. That'd be really cool. And then who knows what happens after that.
Well, mate, I've really appreciated you coming in and having a chat with me. I've wanted to have this chat for a while. Lastly, where can people find you? How can they get in touch?
So the trailer's located at 144 Kapiti Road, and it's just in the car park there outside the M&M Butchers. What else we got there? We got Snap Fitness, Bedlam Hair Salon, Kitchen Creations, as well as the 24-hour laundromat. So just in the car park there. I'll be there 6 days a week. So if people want to get in touch with me, they can text their order for it. It's 021 0275 7086. Usually if the flag's out or the light's on the trailer, it means someone's home, so stop in and have a look. The coffee's amazing. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, just at Dosed Coffee. It's DOSED Coffee, not Dosed Coffee. So come get dosed up the coast. I tell you, it's worth it. It's worth it.
It is worth it, and I really appreciate your time. Go well, my friend. All the best over the next coming weeks, and
sweet, shot, bro. Thank you, Damian. It's been a good chat. Good opportunity to get out and have a chat, I love it. And thanks to Beach FM for putting us out there.